Hi, this is Dr. Greenbrier Almond, and thank you for joining us on another one of our programs of Tender Loving Care. On Channel 3 for the last 35 years, we've been exploring creativity and the interface with that and all sorts of realities. And so now you see we're in a different setting and we're doing some programs from Artistry on Main. And I'm very pleased to have as our guest today Christine Keller. Christine, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much, Greenbrier.
You are not only an artist, and we're going to learn all about your art here in a minute, but you also organize us.
Yes, I try to.
And that's a very hard thing to do with artists.
Yes, it is. I am president of Artistry on Main and also the foundation.
Okay.
And what we strive to do here is to provide a place for the artists to come and sell their artwork. So we're actually like a pass-through for the artists. You come in, it is a juried gallery, you rent your space, and then what we do is we give 100% of the sales back to the artist. So the gallery is actually covering all the utilities with booth rent, we're covering the rent of the space, and we're covering all the credit card fees for the artist. So we're just trying to make it as easy as possible for the artists. The artists in turn have to work 1 day a month, and that enables us to keep the place open every day of the month.
You know, and as someone who's as an author, having a book here, I appreciate this format. It works very well for me because the day that I work, actually I spend a lot of time looking at other artists' work, and I learn what people are doing. And not that I wouldn't do that at a craft show or someplace else,
Right.
but this feels like family now.
Right, and that's what we're hoping to get across, to have every artist feel like this is their gallery. It's not my gallery, it's not the foundation's gallery, but we want every artist to have a piece of that gallery and call it my gallery. And when they have to work that day, it's giving them a chance to freshen up their displays. It's also giving them a chance to learn about the other artists.
Right.
We do have their bios all in our books while we're here, so anybody that comes in can actually learn about the artists that we have in here. We're finding that it's working very well. The last couple months since we've been open have been record sales for us.
Yeah, congratulations too as our president.
Thank you.
Take a lot of credit, take a bow.
Thank you. We also have classes that are coming along, which is invoking a lot of interest in the community. We're getting a lot of buzz about that, not only through Facebook, but also through the local papers. Yeah. Where people are calling in all the time to want to know what we're having for classes. So make sure to go online, join our Artistry on Main Facebook page, and that's where we'll always have the classes up online, so anybody that is interested in taking classes will know what's going on here.
And you've made us a focus of celebrities coming to town. The university president was here recently. And
yes, this past weekend this past week he was here visiting, and he came into the gallery and he chatted with a lot of the artists, and he actually stopped at almost every booth and looked at what was here, and we sold some things to his little entourage that was here, and it was a good night.
Yeah, well, very good. Well, Christine, tell us a little bit about your art then, and where it's taken you in life. I understand actually that you have become a well-known, or at least known figure across America.
I started making jewelry back in 2009. Before that, I was always been creative since the time I've been little. I started off as a wood carver, and I absolutely love doing wood carving, and I've actually carved baptistries for churches. I've done full figures of animals like bears, the wolves, the eagles, and faces. It's just that wood carving takes so much time.
Okay, yeah.
So it's so time intensive for the pieces that you can put out there that it's not something you can actually make a living at.
I've talked to wood carvers and they tell me, they said, I'm either going to get the value of the wood or the value of my time, but I can't get both.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. So I went from there to pottery, and then one day I was in my pottery shed at the end of the day, and I had these little pieces of glass left. Or these little pieces of pottery left, and I decided, what can I do with these? And I decided to make cabochons, and then what I did is I melted recycled glass in them. And what I came up with, there's pieces like are in this box, and I don't know if the camera can show you, but they look like they're geodes. Yeah. And they're actually pieces of melted glass that is in this pottery. And it comes out in different colors depending upon...
And actually, I mean, you use a geological term, but actually, probably volcanic rock, it was sand one time, and then it melted, and I mean, it's exactly glass.
Yeah, there we go. We're back to glass.
Yeah.
And I wrap them in sterling silver, and and that was the very first piece of jewelry that I did. Well,
Now you have it on display in a unique way. I mean, inside a case. Is it more valuable than the other jewelry, or is it?
it is because it's sterling.
Okay.
So I put it up this way and I put it in a case because while sterling, if you're wearing it, does not turn. If it's just sitting out in the open and you're not bothering with it, it does have a tendency to discolor a little. Just it tarnishes.
Okay.
So by putting it in the case like this on the wall, it's saving that from turning some.
Sure.
So that's
Good
why my
idea.
sterling pieces are up there. So I started working with sterling and I wire wrapped pieces, and I started wire wrapping so much I did anything I could get my hands on, and it turned out that I ended up with all this inventory, so I needed to do something with it. So I started to sell it. I got juried into Tamarack, which is our state art gallery,
Right.
which is
Wonderful.
absolutely wonderful place. The state of West Virginia is one of the best places for artists, I believe, in the country.
Yeah.
I'm told we have a lot of artists moving into the Wheeling area now because they are finding this out. It's just a state that is rich in cultural history, and the arts is just a big part of that.
Well, here in Upshur County, at least down in Webster, Upshur County, there have been a lot of potters, for
Yes.
example, that come in. And
Yes.
it's fascinating. I mean, birds of a feather flock together.
Exactly.
And you have made Buchanan artist friendly
Yes.
by being our president again and
Thank
organizing
you.
us.
Thank you. That's what we're trying to do, make it a place where people come there that we're known for an art scene, that they will come to it and check us out and see who's in here. So after I did the sterling, I went and I got a grant from the state. Like I said, West Virginia is a
that's
great
good.
state.
Yeah.
And I got a grant and I took silversmithing classes. So
Wow.
I went off for an intense week and a half of classes. And I learned how to use the torch and the fire, which is
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing a lot more metal work, like the hammering,
Okay.
the texturing of metal.
Wow. Yeah.
And I make these cuffs, I make earrings, I make pendants.
I've traveled to other places in the world, and my daughter spent 2 years in Africa, and it strikes me that this is something that you would see in another culture.
Yep. Yeah, we all learn from each other,
Yeah,
all the other
right.
cultures that you are exposed to, and it's a matter of taking a piece from here and taking a piece from there and making it your own style,
Right,
and that's
yeah.
basically what we all do as creative people.
Sure. Do you have stories behind the stories then? I mean,
On a lot of pieces,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
I do. Like these are my newest little line I've been
Okay.
doing, and I call these Life Happens.
Life Happens.
Life happens.
Okay.
Because what I'm doing is I'm taking a piece of copper and I am fusing silver onto it. Now, number one, when I first started fusing silver to copper, I didn't realize that there are people out there that can tell you you can't do it. It just doesn't work.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so I started playing with it and it worked. So what I'm doing is I'm using leftover silver scraps of wire from my wire wrapping.
Okay.
And I'll put them in little shapes and I'll just melt them to the piece of copper and I see whatever they come out as. And then I just say, well, that looks like,
Wow.
and I'm like, okay, this is what this piece is. Now this piece to me almost looks like a Dr. Seuss character.
Yes.
It's like little girl in a field, and to me she's like blowing dandelions. And on the back of the
And
pendant,
dancing and sort of
right,
free.
yeah,
and
she's like dancing and free. And then I
Yeah.
have a buffalo turquoise on the bottom hanging.
Okay.
And on the back I have stamped Lucky in Life.
Wow.
I like
Okay.
putting words on the back of my
Yeah.
pieces every chance I get because the Victorians believed that words worn next to the skin became part of the wearer. So it's just a nice little,
Okay. And you use
push.
positive phrases.
Yes, I do.
Nothing
Very
down.
positive, right.
You know, this is like naming stalactites and stalagmites in some of our caves.
Right.
You know, you look at the figure and you say, oh, that's an organ.
You're right,
Or
exactly.
this is a baseball player.
Exactly.
Or poor little girl dancing.
Exactly. So I'm having a lot of fun with those
Wow.
because I love to do the one-of-a-kind
Now,
pieces.
you mentioned the buffalo
The buffalo turquoise?
turquoise. Yeah, I know turquoise from New Mexico, but I don't know the term.
Buffalo turquoise is actually white halite, but a lot of people call it the buffalo turquoise,
Okay.
and it's another stone that's found a lot in the Midwest and the West,
Okay.
and it's just becoming very popular. And it's nice because it's white, but it's got striations of color in it. It's the gray, and some pieces got more than others, and it just makes it a very interesting stone. It's
Wow.
just each stone is totally different.
Now, Christine, it strikes me, not only can you organize us, but there may be a young person watching this TV program who wants to be an artist,
Exactly.
or wants to write a grant,
Exactly.
I mean, they can come and talk to you and.
Oh yeah, yeah. As part of the gallery president, what I try to do is every time we do have an opportunity that arises or a show that I am aware of, I try to send an email out to all of our artists so that they can be aware and they can apply for these things that are available as we find out.
Good.
In fact, just recently, this past week, I was down at an Empowering Women's Conference in Charleston, or in Beckley, and I found, I made some great contacts with the head of the SBA, which is not just for, it's Small Business Administration, but it's not just for borrowing money, it's for all kind of help that's available. Like I found out that there are business coaches that will actually work with anybody who wants to just set up a time and they'll talk about your business with you and tell you directions and how to push your business and just how to take it forward. And I mean, these are resources that a lot of our artists don't know about, so anything we can get into their hands to help them do that is good.
I always it's almost a whole other story, but feel bad about artists. And I'm thinking of my favorite musicians and people like this who get taken advantage of by their agents or by the world, so to speak, and then they end up,
with
destitute
nothing
and
after,
poor.
right?
Yeah,
I know, yeah. That is a sad thing, and I hope none of our artists find
I hope
that.
not. Yeah.
A lot of our artists just need to have help in organizing a business, because a lot of artists, as you know, they're good at creating, but they're not so great at the organizational side of it.
Yeah.
So whatever we can do to help them, we do try that.
And this is a creative process for you too.
It is a very creative process. After I did my first piece in the pottery, I ended up having a full-time job. I was working with a local media company in the state, and I was working 40 plus hours a week at a very high stress corporate job. And I had 18 galleries at that time in the state, and I got to the point where I decided that if I did not quit my job, I couldn't take this any farther.
Sure.
And since this is my passion and this is what I love to do and help other artists, I decided it was time to quit. So in the middle of one of the worst economies out there, I walked away from a very high-paying, high-stress job to do what I love. So in the next few years, with the help of the Tamarack Foundation and some of the programs that are available to the artists in the state through there, I've taken the business from 18 galleries up to over 65.
Wow.
And I am found in from West Virginia to California, from Texas up to Wisconsin, and Florida to Maine. So I have galleries all across the nation, which is really kind of exciting.
That is good. Well, when people see this, they're going to be attracted to it. And by the way, we're open every day of the year.
Every day of the year except Christmas and Easter.
And so everyone should be with their family on days like that, and that's fine. And then it's 10 in the morning until 6 at night.
Yep.
And so that's good.
Sunday noon to 6.
Noon to 6. So folks can come in here. You actually are right across from the registry. So people can find your exhibit here and be fascinated by this.
Exactly.
What else do you want to show us?
Well, this is another piece in my Life Happens line. And when I did this piece, it just struck me that it looks like a mother and a child.
Yeah.
So then what I did is I took a piece of magnesia that looks to me like the world.
Yeah, 3/4 of the world is ocean, and you have a lot of blue in that, aqua.
Yeah, so to me it speaks of a mother and child and the bond that's with a mother and a child and how it does change the world. So this is what my piece is called, and on the back I have blessed, because I feel you are blessed if you have that relationship within your life, and the love of a mother or a child in your life is just what makes life special.
Now, all of us would hope for a child to have that baby feeling the first year of their life, or as long as they can keep it.
Right, exactly.
And you've created that. There's a very close bond feeling. That's what I'm getting out of it too. That I would feel secure if I were the baby in that picture. And hopefully the mom is getting rewarded just for loving.
Exactly.
And that would be a great gift for someone who's just had a baby, wouldn't it? I mean, that's the type of thing you want to give to your daughter, your granddaughter.
Or your mother or your grandmother.
On the other side.
Exactly.
Thank you for being a great grandmother. Mother,
Exactly.
Well, jewelry says that, doesn't it? I mean, that's when people value their jewelry.
But they do, and jewelry can be fun, or it can be, making a statement or whatever. Like these pieces here, I work in a lightweight aluminum.
Okay.
If you feel these earrings,
and that's something you're wearing too.
Yes.
Aren't you? Yes.
Feel how light they are.
Yeah.
They're like nothing to them. The card actually weighs more than the earrings. So if you like something bigger, but you like color, because I love color and I'm all about color. As you can see, purple's my favorite. And that's my company color is purple.
Okay.
So I use color and everything I can do as much as possible. Even on my pieces like this, I like to put a stone in if I can, because I like that pop of color. And it's one of the reasons I love working with the gemstones and the sterling, is because there's so many different colors of the gemstones, and they all have different meanings, and it's just really nice.
Now, have you, I mean, you mentioned how you get some of the stones, but do you search out for a certain kind of stone?
Sometimes I do, yes.
You do, okay.
Yes, I try to handpick most of my stones as much as I can. It's not always possible. Sometimes I have to go online and buy them offline, but I'd rather not do that, because if you order, let's say, 2 stones of the same, they're going to send you one nice one and one that's not so nice, and that's just how it seems to go. So.
Well, we had, during the Strawberry Festival time, I was out looking at the arts and around, and there was a lady selling a wonderful agate, and she said that was from Chile.
Yeah.
And my daughter had done an international medicine rotation in Chile, and we visited her. And of course, I bought it first for my wife, and then I said, someday you can pass this on to our daughter.
Exactly.
And it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, there's a story behind the story.
Right. And that's what I like about it. I like the story behind the story. I like the story behind the stones. Like, so many of the stones have different meanings. And who's to say they don't work with your body? I mean, like copper, for one, I call a magic metal. A lot of people that I've known, they swear by it that it helps arthritis.
Yes.
So
didn't it, several years ago, you could actually buy these
just the
wristbands and so forth. Yeah.
But so my copper bracelets, I do not coat with anything. Some people lacquer their copper so that it won't turn. I don't do that. But I tell people, if you want to wear it to pull the toxins out of your body, just wear it as it is. And yes, it might turn your wrists a little green or whatever, but that's good, because that shows that it's working with your body. If you don't want that, the solution is simple. You simply spray it with hairspray, let it dry. Then when you want to use it to pull the toxins out, just wipe it off with a damp cloth, and there you go, you have it again. And it just works great that way. But there's other stones that, you know, they say, you know, some stones they claim calm you, other stones they say are bring love into your life, and this and that. And who's to say whether it's real or not? Because our bodies are a chemical composition. The stones are a chemical composition, so it makes sense that certain ones might work with your body.
Now, also
that
the
way.
other thing that happens, at least, and I'm not familiar with every month and its own stone, but every month has its stone. And people then, by birthdays or other occasions, they come and they'll say, I want a certain stone because of a birthday.
Exactly. Yes, they do.
Yeah, and that's a good way to, again, pick out jewelry and create memories too.
People also do it by color that way. Let's say if your birthstone is like a peridot, they might buy something green, like the green earrings or something, that is going to remind them of that stone. But yeah, there's just a lot of different ways and different people that collect it for different reasons. So some people like the one-of-a-kind pieces. They want to have that piece that they know is the only one like it. And other people, they just want something that's going to be lightweight. And I do a lot with rings, and I make these fun, funky rings that are out of the aluminum, and they're real lightweight, and I do them in all different colors.
Now, it strikes me that high school kids would love this. This looks like the music symbol. And that would be, I mean, if I were, I play trombone, so I would want the lower, the deeper symbol, but that's the treble clefs.
Right, but I also sell these to women of all ages. I've had red hatters buy them who are, you know, because they like them in the purple and the pink, so it's like, or the purple and the red, so the, and West Virginia colors, of course. I sell tons of those to West Virginia students and just people that go to the ball games, whether they're the earrings, the pendants that match like it, or whatever. But they like to wear the matching sets. So not only do I do this, I also take custom orders, and I do pieces for people who want something made just for them.
So if there's a family reunion, I mean, I'm just throw out the name Tenny. It's very common in our town. And they were having a reunion, and they knew that there was a certain symbol they wanted to work with. They could come, and you could make something for them. Maybe all the members of the family.
Right, exactly. And the other thing we can do is, like, I don't know that you can see the pattern on this, but there's like a flower pattern in here.
Oh yes.
That's actually etched into the metal. I can put any kind of pattern on metal
Oh,
anything by just etching it, getting it etched into the metal. So, which makes it really neat and really unique of what you can do with it.
Right. So you mentioned, and you're a true artist. I will say that this way, because you picked one medium, you developed it as far as you wanted to go. Then you didn't give up art. You just switched to a new medium and you went as far as you could go with that.
Right.
Now, you ever consider going back and combining metal and wood or something like that?
I do. In fact, I actually did combine metal and wood this winter. I made a little sculpture. I don't have it in here because I just have jewelry in here, but I do have it in another gallery.
Okay.
So yeah, I do that. I love mixing the metals, and I have found that no matter what craft I'm doing, what I've learned in carving can help me in jewelry, and what I've learned in pottery can help me in this. And you can mix the mediums together, but at some point I'd like to do some of the lost wax carving and casting, where you're actually making your own pieces by carving your own molds. My carving techniques will come in handy when I go that direction because I already know how to carve, which is really cool. And there's just so many things that overlap, and I found out like different techniques, even things that I use on bracelets, I might find out that I'm using now on pendants, or I'm using them on an earring where before I wouldn't have done that.
Right. Now, my wife's Filipino, and in the Philippine culture, the Asian culture, jewelry is wealth. I mean, people wear the jewelry and they value it, and they don't trust the banks and things like that.
Right, they just wear it.
Are we seeing a sign of the times? I mean, are people going for jewelry as a way to secure their wealth? We don't do that in America.
No, I don't believe we do. I mean, there might be those women who out there want the biggest diamond and the best diamond, but for the most part,
diamond is a woman's best friend. That's a saying, but it's not necessarily true.
At least with women I'm coming across, a lot of them like to switch out their jewelry a lot. You know, why wear the same piece over and over and time again? They like to be able to switch it out with their outfits. They like to be color coordinated. They like to match. So in order to do that, you don't need the expensive pieces, because you couldn't afford expensive pieces to match every outfit, where you might be able to. I mean, this is still artisan jewelry. It's still made. Each piece is made by hand. But something like this is a pair of earrings, and you can get it for $18. Where else can you do that? I mean, these little rings that I showed you, $10. But they're all handmade, and I make them all day long. It shows for people. They come and they pick out their wires. I size their finger. And we make rings for them as we're sitting there.
So actually, that's even better. I mean, the value is in them loving it, and caring for it, and it doesn't matter that it's $10 or $18.
Right, exactly. And they're picking it out, and they're watching you make it for them.
Yeah.
And you can't beat that. They're like, wow, I had a hand-done ring, and look at this. It's only $10.
Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, I hear from people all the time with that.
What do you think of, I mean, come back to a larger art question in a sense about, here we are, a community of Buchanan. I always think of us as a little oasis in West Virginia.
Yes.
I mean, we're surrounded by this wonderful forest, but here we are, Wesleyan College, nice Main Street. What's our future in art? What do you envision?
For Buchanan? Oh, I can see the way the community has come together to back this gallery has been amazing. Back when we were trying to figure out the best way to restructure it in the fall, when we had a community meeting and we had over 100, and I think there was probably 160 people there at our meeting that we had over at Wesleyan College. It was just so exciting to see the backing that we had from the community. Even now on our board of 9 people, 4 of them are artists, but the rest aren't. So it's like, it gives us a nice balance between the community and the artists, and having both perspectives and both viewpoints. And I can see that going forward. And the gallery works with the college. They just got done filming an artist video of me this year. Each year they've been picking someone to do a little artist video on. So far we have 5 other artists done beside myself that has been done through the years. In time, we'd like to have a flat screen up here. We're having our videos looping all the time as we get them done.
You know, we have a long history too. I mean, arts in different ways. Writers coming out of here.
We
Steve
do.
Koons, Jane Ann Phillips. I mean, on and on.
Right, exactly.
And that's wonderful too.
It is. It's great, and we're going to have things like that here. Events throughout the year where we're going to have some readings, possibly by you coming in and doing a reading of your book. And we have another author that's in here, and one of the guy who was the head of the college that did the video on me, head of that production class. He's actually an author too. So we have those resources right here within the town.
And the Governor's Art Academy is coming to Wesleyan this summer.
Oh, really?
I read that in the paper.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, here, read it first in the Record Delta. Intermountain also. But anyway, they rotate to colleges.
Oh, very nice.
My daughter had been selected to go to Athens and Concord years ago.
Yes.
And now I understand there will be a cycle here at Wesleyan.
Very, very nice. Yeah.
Good for the arts.
Yeah, and we work with the artists, the college also, for the fact that we have interns coming from the college and helping with the gallery. We are trying to get it in place because they told us if we told them what we would like, that they would actually write it into the curriculum.
Okay.
So that we could have a few interns coming in. Let's say maybe we wanted them to host events for us, like a Christmas open house or a spring open house, that they would be able to do that, or help with our classes that we're running in the back. And don't forget, we've got some great classes that are going to be going on through the whole summer here.
And people should go to Artistry on Main
Facebook page, and they'll always be posted up there as we get new ones. I've been putting it up there. Also, they can come in and sign up to be on an email list, and I send that email list around to everyone that's interested in the classes, so you know what's going on. We also have it posted right outside the gallery on our board outside the door.
So if you're coming to town, get your Dairy Queen and come across the street, look in the window, look at the bulletin board.
That's right, and it'll keep you up to date on what's happening. And the classes are another way that we have our artists can actually teach a class, so they can also have another stream of income. If they want to teach a class, they'll also have that income coming in. And not only do our artists teach, but we have other outside people coming in and doing classes.
Yeah.
So it's great.
It's phenomenal, actually. It's probably everything that the foundation envisioned when they first began, and more.
It is.
And more.
It's continuing to be a work in progress as we work through things and trying to get everything ironed out to be the best that we can. But it's coming together, and we're all quite pleased with it. We all feel a real sense of ownership with the place, and I hope the artists do too.
Well, I do, for one, and I want to just say that Christine keeps me informed on email, and I do read email, and we have 38 artists, I understand now.
We do.
I think our goal was 30, and it's fine to exceed a goal.
Yes, it is.
And the only limit now is space, I suppose.
Actually, we had space for 40 if we had each one of our boxes counted as one artist, but we have a few artists that actually have 2 spaces.
Okay.
So, yeah, with the 38, we are full.
Right.
So
but we're not in competition, we're just all in union.
No, that's right, we are. Exactly. And any day you come in here, there will be an artist working, so it's great to find out whoever's working and what things that they're doing. And just to communicate with them a little more.
And let's say one more thing about Christine's art too. It strikes me that jewelry is something that you have an occasion. We have Father's Day coming up, for example. I suspect, I'm just saying, turquoise strikes me as one of my favorite because of the Indian nature. It's manly or something. I can accept that as jewelry. So you have colors that would match turquoise.
Right, exactly.
And then there could be a patriotic theme, July the 4th. There could be an anniversary dates, of course, Christmas, other holidays. You can come and look here, and this display will probably change.
Yes, it always will be rotating through, yes. We're always looking for new ideas, and I'm always looking for new styles, and it's, like I said, it's an evolving work in progress, like most everything in life. If you want to stay fresh and new, you want to keep changing. Very
good. Well, thank you very much, Christine, for coming on our program, Tender Loving Care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything that you do for the gallery.
Thank you.
And Artistry on Main, we're open almost every day of the year except Easter and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then from 10 in the morning until 6 at night, but on Sunday from noon till 6. So come by. We will keep interviewing folks. We'll have many more stories to tell, and there's stories behind the stories. And I know, I heard from Christina that if you have a special project, talk to her, and she will work with you and your family on that. So thank you for Channel 3 for this opportunity to come your way each week. We look forward to more programs. See you then.
Thank you.